everyone, I'm Ellen Akers, your District Testing Coordinator, and thank you for watching this video that's a quick refresher on test security for 2018 and 2019. Remember that all information can be found in your STAR end of course manuals. Those for the first time this year are available online, as well as you'll receive a hard copy from your District Test Coordinator. Remember that reading your manuals is essential and that just watching this video doesn't replace that. There's a lot more detailed information that you'll need. So what is test security and what does that mean? Well, test security is important because it ensures a fair and equal testing opportunity for all of our students. It preserves the integrity of the test content, and it requires a strict adherence to instructions and procedures. It means that we have to account for all secure test materials before, during, and after testing until we return those to the Texas Education Agency. It means that we have to identify which individuals can handle secure materials and that those individuals must go through training and sign an oath stating that they've been trained and that they understand test security. It means that we properly secure test materials, that we track the chain of custody from the time they're received on our campus until they're issued to the teacher and the student, and then back to your campus testing coordinator. And that is done through the use of materials control forms and other transfer forms. Test security means protecting the contents of all secure test materials. That includes online testing tickets, anything with TELPUS, which is our assessment for English language learners, STAR Alternate 2 images, and our test books and answer documents. I know that's what we most commonly think of, but test security includes all materials that are used for any state assessment. So compliance with confidentiality requirements involves that all personnel must be trained on obligations concerning confidentiality and test security. We must monitor each administration and make sure that they are done with strict accordance to procedures. And should we have an incident, it means that we must investigate and report any incident that we think may be a breach of test security. For our documents, we have to maintain those for 5 years. That includes any irregularity or investigation forms, inventory and shipping records, our security oaths that we each must sign, seating charts, testing rosters, testing materials and sign-in sheets, absent documentation forms, and any student whose answer document we had to code O for other. When you complete your security training, your campus test coordinator will give you an oath. The great news this year is that we have one oath for every role. You simply check your role on that oath and sign it. There are things that constitute serious irregularities in testing. That includes anything that must be immediately investigated by the district testing coordinator, that's me, and anything that must be reported to TEA or the Texas Education Agency as soon as we confirm that an irregularity has taken place. For the adults involved, that means that it could result in disciplinary action, even suspension of your license. So test security is extremely important. So serious irregularities are any conduct that constitutes serious testing irregularities, and they would include directly or indirectly assisting students with responses to test questions, tampering with a student response, falsifying a student response or a holistic rating involved in the TELPAS writing, viewing secure test content before, during, or after a test administration unless you have authorization to do so. It also includes disclosing or discussing test content, scoring a test formally or informally, or duplicating, recording, or electronically capturing any test content. That means you can't take a picture of it and share it on your phone. Release or disclosure of confidential test content is a Class C misdemeanor, and it could result in criminal prosecution. Now, there are irregularities that happen simply in the procedures of giving a test. These are minor errors. They don't represent a severe breach of security or confidentiality, and they don't necessarily require that we report them to TEA, although I usually do, just to make sure that our district maintains the strictest of standards. But it may not mean that we have to actually submit any documentation. I will keep that documentation locally. Things that would be a procedural irregularity would include not providing an accommodation to a student, accepting an answer document that's partially or completely blank, allowing a student to have an accommodation that they should not have, improperly storing test material or not monitoring at all times once it's in your possession as a test administrator, failing to read the script verbatim from the test manual. Please make sure that as you administer a test, you read the words that are in bold exactly as they are printed and do not deviate from that script at all. Not actively monitoring, that means that you shouldn't be on your computer reading a book or the newspaper, but you should be actively monitoring what students are doing at all times. Or it could also involve improperly monitoring a student during a break. That's why we have hall monitors. There are cases where students may have irregularities, and that primarily involves the use of an electronic device. Make sure that prior to the test administration, the Pearland ISD electronic device statement is read aloud to your students. You'll see that on the screen here. Any student who uses an electronic device to capture or to share test content is a serious violation, and you must again contact the district test coordinator, that's me, immediately. You would notify your campus test coordinator and they would call me. But students do have access to a great deal of social media these days, and we want to make sure that they do not transmit any secure test information over any electronic device. If you believe that a student has been involved in a cheating incident, then we will mark their answer document O and we will invalidate their test. They also will receive disciplinary action at the local level. Now, what else can you do to make sure that you're ready to administer the state assessments this year? Well, we have web-based test administrator online training modules. These were created by the Texas Education Agency. And again, it doesn't replace your face-to-face training, but certainly is a great supplement. How do you get to that, you ask? Well, go to texasassessment.com. At the top of that tab, click Administrators, and then you'll see Training right under that. And then you will see the 3 modules, 1, 2, and 3. Please complete those. At the end, you'll be giving a test certificate and submit that to your campus test coordinator. A couple of tips to avoid any irregularities. Make sure you have an accurate testing roster and make sure that any information regarding student accommodations is included on that roster. Create an accurate seating chart. Remember, those are maintained for 5 years past the date of the test administration, so having an accurate seating chart can certainly assist if we have an irregularity. Make sure that in 1-hour intervals you announce the amount of time remaining on the test. Provide any required test materials such as calculators or dictionaries. Make sure when you receive an answer document from a student at the completion of their test that you scan that document and make sure they've bubbled in something for each answer. If not, there's a script provided for you in the manual where you can return the document and tell them the answer document is not complete. Please record all answers on the document. Make sure that principals, campus coordinators, other staff, your hall monitors are available and ready to go and support you in the need of extra assistance in your room. Make sure that you account for all test materials, including booklets and answer documents, when you receive them from the student and when you turn them into your campus test coordinator. And make sure that you verify the student is in fact who they are supposed to be before you hand them an answer document or an online testing ticket. But most importantly, just remember, don't accept blank answer documents. Please ask the student to complete answer documents. In preparing your room for testing, remember that we want to create a comfortable atmosphere for our students with where everything on the walls is covered with paper. So anything that does not or would not provide a direct answer for the student can remain uncovered. For example, if you're administering the U.S. history test and you're a math teacher, there's probably nothing on your walls that would provide a direct answer to those students. So be aware of the test you're administering and what's on your walls. Anything that could provide that direct source of an answer to your students, please make sure you cover that prior to testing. I know that sometimes state assessment may seem like a burden, but remember, it's important that we ensure our students are making progress each year and they're learning our learning objectives in the manner and at the pace in which they should. State testing provides us the data that validates the great job that you do each and every day. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Happy testing!